Hey guys, today I'm here to talk through my bullet journal setup with you guys, which is a video you requested when I showed my bullet journal in my mid-year favorites video, I think that was. So I've kind of jerry-rigged a setup here. I don't own a tripod, so I'm really hoping this works, and let me know if it doesn't work for you, if the angle is off or something, and I will fix it before my Fobonichi journal video. So starting off, this is the notebook I'm using currently. It is just a checkered moleskin journal. I really like the construction of moleskins and I like the quality of their paper, which is why I'm using this. I know you can get fancy lectern something or other journals that are formatted for the bullet journal system, but I don't think you have to splurge for one of those if you want to bullet journal. I think it's just perfectly fine to use whatever you have lying around like I did previously, or go out and buy a moleskin. So I guess let's just go ahead and look inside. You will see stickies throughout this video because I have blocked out some personal information, but starting off, the first thing I have in here is my key. Now there is a official bullet journal icon system. There are different ways you can track tasks, and I don't use any of those. I find personally for myself, I like the act of crossing something off a to-do list, so I use a little bit of a different icon system. I use a circle or a dot for a task, a star for an event, a little arrow indicates that I have migrated a task or event, a cross off is obviously a completed item, and if I scribble it out, that has been canceled or deleted. Then I do color code, so anything in blue is personal, anything in green is related to my blog or to YouTube, red is work, and then I have a P and a V for blog posts and video designations. Then of course I have my index. You'll see I have already filled in my index quite a bit, and I'm only into the 20-something pages. I did leave myself 3 pages for my index, but I really like having a complete and working index. I find that that's kind of, I don't know, it's the whole point of having an index. If you don't use it, why bother having one? So skipping past the index, the first thing you'll see is my list of 2016 resolutions. I am a typical Virgo in that I love lists. I really thrive off a visual representation of what I want to achieve, so I like having these in here first thing. Then if you go over here, this is one of the more important pages in my bullet journal. This is my income tracker, and this is really important because I am a freelance worker, so I work for lots of different people, I do lots of little jobs, and I need to keep track of all that. So I keep track by the month, then by the individual or company that I worked for and the specific task, and then what they paid me for that task. And then I total that up here in this column. Then I have some savings goals. This is an idea I got from Boho Berry, which is an amazing bullet journal and journaling channel that I will link down in the description. I liked this idea. I have 2 different goals here of what I want to save for paying off student loans and hopefully moving out on my own in the relatively soon future. So I have those 2 goals. I've left space to add more goals if I want to, but I just find that these 2 are what I'm focusing on right now. Then over here I have my gas and mileage tracker, which is something I started doing when I got my car earlier this year. I also have this tracker over here for work travel, which again is very important, especially if you are a freelance worker and you do need to travel. You can write that off on your taxes. Obviously, I keep forgetting to get around to actually filling this one out. Then I have a few blogger and YouTube trackers here. I was trying out 2 different styles of mapping this out. I think I definitely like this one better. It's just easier to see. I think this looks kind of cool, but it's just not very practical. So next year, I think I will stick with something like this. So I basically just fill in or bubble in the day of the month when I upload a video on this one and post a blog post over here. There are always going to be more posts on the blogger tracker because I post all of my videos in addition to separate posts on my blog. So it's just kind of nice to see visually where I am posting, when I am posting, and maybe show me how I can spread out better. Then over here we have some reading tracking. We have the schedule for the Our Mutual Friend Dickens Along, which is being put on and led by Katie over at Books and Things. And then over here, of course, we have my Goodreads reading challenge, my 50-book reading challenge. As you can see right now, I have gone through 21 books, and I still have all of these to read. Then we move into my first monthly spread. This is my July calendar because I started this journal in July. This isn't really something that is part of the technical bullet journal system, but I personally really like to have a big visual spread of the month. It just really helps me mentally to sort out my time. I don't know if you can pick this up here, but I have my videos scheduled in my green. I have a few like important dates I need to remember. I have some birthdays and holidays in here. We took a trip, so that's in here. Booktubeathon's in here. A dog sitting job I did is in here. Bills, stuff like that. I like to have monthly goals, and I like to have the next month just so I can refer to this in case I need to start planning ahead. Then over here I have July videos, posts, and TBR. Now I have a master list of videos and posts that I want to do on an app on my phone called Wunderlist. It's great. You can sync it with your computer. You can access it, I think, in a web interface. It's perfect for just storing like a bunch of different ideas or errands or whatever you need. But here I like to pick the ones I actually want to get to for the month. So I have, you know, little tick boxes here, and this month I just filmed my Booktubeathon wrap up this morning, and now I'm filming my bullet journal setup, so those two will get checked off once they're done. Again, same thing with the July blog posts, and then my TBR. I don't do TBR videos, but just so you guys know, I do a rough TBR for myself just because I have over 120 unread books. So I like to kind of plan ahead for the month just to see, you know, that I'm evenly distributing my reading between new books, library books, and what I already own. So I like to plan ahead. Then I have my July habits tracker, which is again an idea I got from Boho Berry. I'm not super strict about this. These are just habits that I have, or I don't know, things I like to do anyways, and I thought it would be interesting to see where I was spending my time so that I could try and be more productive. So I just have my habits here. I have all of the days of the month, and I know some people do, like, they fill this in rainbows or in specific patterns of colors. I'm not that fancy. I just like the basic gray because, again, this is a bullet journal where you can be creative and stuff, but I'd prefer it just to be really efficient and help me be productive. So from there, we have one last like kind of set page, and that is my June, July bills and expenses. This again happens on every month that I will have. I just break it down by the bills so I know if I need to transfer money from account to account, and then I have my expenses. This is more important to me than the bills actually, because what I do is I break down in a big spreadsheet on my computer. I break down each expense into different categories so I know what areas of my life I'm spending money on. This to me is where I like to pay most attention, especially to personal expenses. Personal expenses to me are purchases I don't really need to make, but things that maybe I'm doing for fun or just something that I see and really want, like maybe a new book. That would be a personal expense. I kind of like to keep an eye on that category in particular and try and keep that cost every month as low as possible. Then we get into my weekly spreads, and these are super basic compared to a lot of the bullet journals out there. Again, I just want this to be super useful and really help me be productive and efficient with my day. So I have my just like week set up here so I know what dates of the week there are. I have some weekly goals, which I accomplish way more frequently than my monthly goals. And then each day is marked with a little line, and then you have my bullets. So you can see here kind of how I break down things and how I cross them off. So for example, we have some personal stuff here. We've got my work stuff. You can see here I've migrated some posts. Here I've migrated some tasks. Here I've completed some things. Here's one that I just didn't end up doing. I decided I wasn't gonna do it, so I crossed it off. And that's just kind of how my weeks go. They're super basic, not very fancy, but they work for me, and they honestly have helped my efficiency immensely. Then we went to San Francisco earlier this month, so I did a packing list. I've never done such a detailed packing list before, but honestly, this was the best thing I've ever done because I didn't forget anything for the first time ever. Then we have another weekly spread, more weekly spread, and then we had the Booktubeathon last week, so I wrote down all of the reading challenges, I wrote down my TBR, and as you can see, I was kind of coloring things in as I completed them. You know, the rest of my week, I have my brainstorm for this video, actually. This is the week we're currently on. Today, I'm filming this on Monday the 25th, so this will get filled in with the rest of this last week of July, and I've left this space for that too. I have some Etsy shop brainstorming because I think I'm going to be starting an Etsy store. And then we just get into August. August is pretty much the exact same as July, so I won't go through it too much. But I just wanted to show you this because it's totally okay to make mistakes in a bullet journal. A lot of people's bullet journals are overly decorated. They maybe aren't the most productive things in the world. They're kind of a creative escape, and that's totally fine. But I also don't want you guys to feel like you have to be, I don't know, like super mega creative or completely perfect in everything that you write in your bullet journal. For example, my August spread. So I was doing this last night while I was watching the news, and I kind of was just copying in the calendar I had from July, and then I realized that I didn't actually need 2 extra lines here. So I ended up adding a quote to fill in the space and some little washi tape here just to fill it in. Again, didn't need those, but it wasn't really a mistake that I couldn't do something cool with. So again, we have the next month, September. I also screwed up here. I wrote July goals over again. So, you just fix it and make it work. Then again, we have August videos, posts, TBR, another habit tracker, and I reorganized my habits this time to just look more visually pleasing. Again, I will fill in my July and August expenses and bills, and then this is going to be my new weekly spread for August. So yeah, that is my current bullet journal setup. It's very bare bones compared to a lot of the bullet journals out there, but it really works for me. As far as pens go, I just am really basic. Again, I use a Sharpie pen for all of the black. There we go, a Sharpie pen for all of the black. I use one of these multicolor pens for my daily tasks and events. And then for markers, I use these Staedtler Tri-Plus markers that come in this big, set like this. So I know some people get the really fine tip ones. These are not so fine. These are the larger nibs, and that works for me. I will also link the official setup video for the bullet journal system in the description in case you guys want to learn more about this system of journaling and planning. And yeah, I guess that's all I have for today. So I'm gonna stop rambling. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.